Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. A backup singer.
Ooh, singer.
When you have the Farmers Signal app with Crash Assist.
Crash Assist.
If you have an auto accident.
We can send help if you want it.
Wow, that sounds like a whole lot of something. Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies, subject to terms and conditions, underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
In 1987, a former prosecutor named Margaret Kuhn took her dog for a walk in one of Louisiana's safest and most affluent parishes. The next morning, she was found dead on the side of the road. 34 years later, the crime remains unsolved.
No one is safe.
Listen to Gone South, Season 1. Who Killed Margaret Kuhn? A documentary podcast from C13 Originals. Available on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is WWJ All Local.
Prosecutors in Detroit uncovering a massive money laundering operation between the U.S. and Dubai. WWJ's Charlie Langton is all over this one, joining us live with more information on what's being called the Shadow Exchange. Right, Charlie?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, the Shadow Exchange. Yeah, the feds say that it's part of a money laundering operation between the U.S. and the United Arab Emirates, and the feds want the $12 million seized from shell companies that were in Dubai. They were sent to U.S. banks between December 2020 and May of this year. Now, a forfeiture complaint has been filed in federal court in Detroit, but it did not name the individuals involved. It's also not clear if any arrests were made. This lawsuit is just to get the money, the $12 million so far. Reporting live, Charlie Langton, WWJ News Radio 950.
Beaumont has suspended 370 workers over the hospital's COVID-19 mandate. Beaumont announced all employees, contractors, and vendors had to get the vaccine for continued employment back in late July. The suspended workers have until November 16th to meet the vaccine requirement or be terminated.
Elsewhere on the Health Beat, teacher sicknesses. They're among the reasons now some Ann Arbor schools are online today only. News Radio 950's Mike Campbell is joining us live with those details. Mike?
The Ann Arbor Public Schools District Superintendent says Huron and Skyline High School students and those at Forsyth Middle School have emergency remote asynchronous learning today due to numerous unfilled positions across the district. Janice Swift says taking this step with these three schools, which are most critically impacted by staffing challenges, will allow the Ann Arbor District to redeploy substitute personnel to assist with the shortage of staff across other buildings and stretch the resources to staff the remaining schools. Earlier this month, Pittsfield and Burns Park Elementary Schools shifted to remote learning for several days after the Washtenaw County Health Department identified COVID outbreaks within their schools. Reporting live, Mike Campbell, WWJ News Radio 950.
A crash involving a classic Jeep leaves an Oakland County man dead. The Sheriff's Department says 82-year-old Ronald Rader of Davisburg died Wednesday night after he was thrown from a 1946 Jeep that didn't have any seatbelts. Investigators say Rader pulled out in front of a car on Holly Road. The driver of the other vehicle was not hurt.
University of Michigan President Mark Schlissel addressing the Board of Regents about an ongoing protest outside of his house over the abuse by former sports doctor Robert Anderson. Schlissel thanking the more than 1,000 survivors for, quote, their bravery in coming forward, saying he has heard the deeply personal and painful stories. Former running back for the University of Michigan football team, John Vaughn, has been outside Schlissel's home for 13 straight days.
What I've heard from Anderson survivors, he's never personally spoken to them. Like, I was standing 50 feet away from him yesterday as he walked home, if that, and I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more, 100 feet, whatever. But I know he knew who I was because we were standing on the sidewalk as he's walking toward his house. Never spoke to me.
Vaughn tells us he's going to remain in front of that house until he hears directly from Mark Schlissel.
It's the Lions versus Matthew Stafford and the Rams on Sunday. Predictions?
I'll go 34-14, and here's why. I think the Rams defense and the team in general and Sean McVay, their head coach, know how important this game is for Matthew Stafford. They know how important this game is for Stafford, but they also know how important this game is for Jared Goff. So I think they're going to come out with a little bit more oomph. And the Lions are banged up. The Lions go into that game, they are completely banged up. It's just a bad matchup. If they were at Ford Field, I could say that the game could be a little bit closer, but it could get ugly. 34-14 Rams. I don't think the Lions are going to score a whole lot of points on Sunday against the Rams.
That's WWJ's Tony Ortiz.
From the field to the court, the NBA is now celebrating its 75th anniversary alongside some famous Detroit Pistons. News Radio 950's Chris Villar joining us live with more. Chris?
Hey, good morning, Jason. Good morning, Roberta. A who's who of Michigan and Pistons-centric names donning that 75th anniversary list that was voted on by current and former players, GMs, coaches, writers, people who know what they're talking about. And it seems like everyone connected to the NBA also putting in their know-how into this list. Now, from the most obvious, like Magic Johnson, to those who had a cup of coffee in the D, like Allen Iverson. Plenty of people arguing for those who were snubbed, like Dwight Howard, Vince Carter, Kyrie Irving. However, most aren't offering who should be removed from the list when they state their case. Now, the list of 76 names, 76 because there was a tie in the voting, coming after a list of 50 was done 25 years ago for the 50th anniversary, and really shows how fortunate we in Michigan have been to watch some of the greatest ever take the hardwood. A good 15+% of the list with connections to the mitten, including George Kerwin, Dennis Rodman, Bob McAdoo, and many more. It's very cool to see everyone honored after amazing careers over decades of terrific basketball. Chris Villar, WWJ News Radio 950.
For the latest news plus traffic and weather together on the 8s, tune into AM 950. Favorite WWJ on radio.com or ask Alexa to play WWJ News Radio 950.
Hello, I'm Jason Concepcion, former co-host of Binge Mode Ravenclaw with Gryffindor Rising, still repping the Night's Watch despite Season 8, and the host of Crooked Media's new podcast, X-Ray Vision. Every week, my guests and I will take you through the world of comic book movies, fantasy shows, and more. Join us as we deep dive into your favorite franchises, discuss fan theories, and the latest news. Listen now for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a farmer's customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Another me.
And when you have multiple farmers policies, you could save up to 45% on your auto insurance with the Auto Multi-Policy Discount.
What's going on with our voice?
I thought I'd add some drama.
Well, isn't that something? Get a quote
at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges, Farmers New World Life Insurance Company or affiliate.
Up to 30% of U.S. military members and veterans are battling PTSD, even those who weren't injured or in combat. If you're one of the many, you should know that you don't have to suffer. Treatment for PTSD is available. If you suffer from PTSD-related depression and anxiety, you're not alone. There are so many veterans and current enlisted just like you. You don't have to suffer. Find the help and resources you need and deserve at connectingvets.com.